Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive the notifications. Without the person turning those wheels behind the scenes, so many celebrities who become recognized figures would probably not get the opportunities they've had. Truth is, a lot of these celebrities don't have a clue about the actual business side of things and quite often rely on someone else to pull those strings to make those power moves. Sat on the sofa today, my guest was instrumental in the careers of the likes of Black Twang and Manuva, and has behind-the-scenes stories for days that will captivate and educate fans of the music culture. I'd like to introduce to the 521 Sofa Chat, I don't know even what to call him, whether it's, look, on the weekdays, it's Gordon, and on the weekends, it's Simba. So Gordon Simba.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man.
I've been speaking to you for years, and some of the stories you tell me, like, you know, it's entertained me for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to get behind some of those stories, and I also want people to understand that it's not always just about the people that are in the forefront, standing on the stages, performing, the public knows who they are, that it takes someone like you to make some of those things happen.
Yeah.
You know, so do you want to tell people, first of all, who you are, what your background is, what got you into this?
I'm Simba Gordon Hudson. The reason why I'm called Simba is because my mum changed our names when we were kids, the time we were 2 years old. So my mum calls me Simba, my dad calls me Gordon. I'm Simba on school register, but I'm Gordon in the work environment.
Okay.
And I don't know, changing our names changed my life, really. And my mum's a revolutionary. She's a Black Panther from Ladbroke Grove, along with the Mangrove 9 posse, if you know about the Mangrove 9.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was looked upon as a troublemaker. So obviously she got to lose her kids. We went into care.
Okay.
Once we got into care, we never got out. But
Serious?
we went to our dad's house at the weekend.
Okay.
And at the weekend, our dad would work, you know, he would work all the time, and we would never see him. So we found ourselves in doing all kinds of things. But as a kid, we didn't hang in our local area. We always went down to West End because some of the boys who went to our school, they were from Kennerton and Chelsea and World's End and all these places. And we used to meet down West End, Trafalgar Square. School holidays, summer holidays, West End, Covent Garden.
What captivated you with that you wanted to hang around in that particular area and not your area?
It all started from, I've got an elder brother called Samson, and you know, following him everywhere, West End, this haze, he was just like a naughty boy, but we didn't know he was being naughty at the time, and it progressed or whatever. I don't know, his criminal record's as long as your arm. But yeah, we just used to hang. I met loads of people at Covent Garden, Duke Booty, Ozzy's crew, Spider Business, Dolby D. Duke is the one who I saw, you know, like dressed in hip hop gear from head to toe, Adidas'd out. And he's been Adidas for years. But you know, there's a guy in Covent Garden called Freddie. Tough little nut he was, and he was offering Duke out, you know, like, come on, let's have it then, Duke. Or no, Freddie was offering it Duke out, and Duke was like, just like, and I thought, like, what's the matter with Duke? He's just pointing his thumb at it. But because Duke's Cockney, it was just like, we could talk like that, you know, and I learned a lot from Duke just by being a person who just talked like in English, you know what I mean, instead of somebody taking the mick out your English accent or whatever, and I just like, you know.
And that's something that you learned to kind of adopt in what you were doing later on.
Yeah.
So the language thing was kind of important.
Yeah,
Okay?
definitely.
Because, you know, that was a time when a lot of people were speaking in American accents and rapping in American accents.
That's right, that's right.
Did you have plans to do something with it at the time, or was it later?
I started from Touch Magazine, photography.
Okay.
And from a photography company, I had a business partner called Kingdem. We were kind of like fresh out of college. And yeah, we started this magazines, taking pictures from magazines, doing record covers, worked for Go for the Juggler.
Sonia Polton.
Yeah. She used to get us work and stuff. I suppose we were cheap, like I always say, we were cheap, you understand, but we was perfecting our skill.
Is there any particular record cover that we would recognize?
I made a lie one time just to get the job. and I had asked Kofi Allen, who took Buju Banton's picture of like the Africa one with Buju Banton's face. It's like Africa. But he had these pictures of Ice-T, no, Ice Cube.
Okay.
And, you know, I asked him if I can take them for my interview. And I just lied and said, yeah, we took those pictures. Yeah, we took them. Yeah, man. I bet she knew we didn't take them a ass. You understand? But she gave us the job anyway. Yeah. You know, she had a group called Split Decision. Yeah, Split Decision and some other guys. Split Decision, Black Twang was in that group.
Yeah, they were... like a
swing beat band, yeah, Teddy Riley kind of style. Tony used to just do his thing, and we became friends.
I do remember sitting at the train station many years ago, and we had a conversation. I think he was on his way to the airport or something, and we sat down and we talked. And yeah, you know, I was just excited to hear what he was going to come with.
He was really good. Whatever he done, whatever he was doing, he was good at. And I feel that he used to rap in American. So I used to say, you know what, we used to say, True say, we're going to my yard, you get me safe. That's how the kids talk down there, unless they talk like me. You understand? And then he perfected his style. His style started, from Jennifer to like real estate, you know, talking about things in the area. But I would try and coach those guys into talking about their area, into talking about the names where they live and what number bus that was or what the name of that road was. You know, he's the one who introduced me to Roots Manuva.
Wicked.
So he had tracks with Roots Manuva, you know, and Roots Manuva's name weren't Roots Manuva then. It was called Baron Smith.
You obviously have a talent for spotting something.
Yeah.
And then for adapting it into something else.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to convince artists to believe you that you knew the answer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the artists, they're creative. They don't like people like interfering.
Yeah,
definitely. You know what I mean? So what did you do that was different that made them go, right, I'm going to listen to this guy?
I think what I'd done is I was always talking about London and UK things, and we're not American. We can't keep following these people, you understand? Not like they were doing anything wrong, because we all grew up on American music. But, you know, for hip-hop, UK hip-hop, we have to do something for ourselves. If London Posse are doing it and talking about a packet of crisps and stuff, then we should do it. You know, with Black Twang, you know, them times we were going around schools and colleges trying to get him shows, but he was established. He was always established. He always knew, he was always focused, and he had quite a few people around him. Rodney Smith, Roots Manuva, he weren't the only guy. He had Jason Bones, he had VRS, he had Michael Hamilton, who was a producer who produced a group called Structurize. And you know, I feel that you know, Black Twang opened a lot of doors, how he changed his hip hop, talking about red letters.
There are certain artists that have had that moment where you're just like, this person's gonna do something.
He kind of like brought a guy on the scene called Jeremy Tucson. Jeremy Tucson.
Sound of Money.
Money, yeah.
Right,
so what Jeremy Tucson, me and him done the Sound of Money. So I don't know if we were working together or I was working for him. He never made it clear. I remember he'd say, Gordon signing on the doll and and put down his little thing, you understand? But, you know, we used to work together. He helped manage Roots Manuva. Right. So we managed him together.
Okay.
Well, that's what he said. And he used to manage MJ Cole.
Okay.
So when they were coming up together, say management, we went Australia with MJ Cole, but loads of things happened long before that's happened.
So if I was to say to you, I don't want to be, I already am, what would that mean to you?
That was like a verse Roots Manuva said on his album, or an intro, but he got that from Scheme. We were in a studio in Angel Town. Roots Manuva was the beat maker, Scheme was the rapper. So Roots Manuva used to be Scheme's engineer. So I don't know, I used to talk to Scheme in the studio and say, well, if you're going to be a wannabe, you want to do it like this and do it like that. He said, I don't want to be, I already am. Okay. Next thing you know, we hear Rodney's album come out and Rodney's like this, I don't want to be, I already am. So he took Scheme's words and made it kind of like stand out a bit more than it is. I heard Rodney P says, I'm like Roots Manuva. I don't want to be, I already am. And I said, that got that off scheme long time ago, you understand?
I don't know if it's the New Cross mentality, but that's how we were.
New Cross is a place where most of the slang was made. And it's the home of the pickpocket. It's the home of the original blagger, the thief, the robber, the gangster. New Cross. When it comes down to East London and Stepney Green and all that, it's two different kind of places. You understand? So they've got the thing called the Ghetto Boys, and it must have started from somewhere.
We kind of touched on it in the Scheme interview that we did recently. What do you know about the Ghetto Boys?
We don't go down there. We're not even allowed down there. So we don't go down there. But after a while, you get to know one or two people. Like I know D-Ro from Saxon Sound. You know, and you know, I've been going to check D-Ro for a while now in his studio, and you know, loads of people down there, other studios who are in the area as well.
You do quite a lot of them, like you knew all Smiley and
yeah. But I knew Smiley from Asher Senator and Ricky Rankin and all these the guys that I even got Ricky Rankin to come and join Roots Manuva. You know, and asked him, come down to Rodney's house, come down to Rodney's house. Rodney was doing this garage tune, and Ricky just sung a song on it. Woo, 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 woo. Add me up.
What were you doing being a manager, bro? You could have been a front singer.
Nah.
I'm saying, did you hear that?
The funny thing about
He
it.
kept all the notes that all these people on The Voice can't keep.
But that's the thing, you know, I never saw myself as a rapper.
Well, you missed your calling.
And even if I saw myself as a rapper, I couldn't write bars. I'd like, you know, I started writing bars when Jungle came in, and it was the music was so fast. You understand? It was just like you
couldn't keep up.
You
had to have a certain type of mouth.
Some loose lips. Sink ships. No, but you said something like. But you said I could do it, and I could bubble. But I didn't really think myself as being an artist, or no one said to me, you're good, you're good. After a while, people started saying you're good, because I'd done a tune with a guy from work called Colin Charles, and I might have done something with Jerry Clavier, who I went to school with, and I would just always drop a verse, and then we done it out in West End, where I'm doing this verse, and I remember the verse, and I got Black Twang to write me the verse, to tell the truth. Can you write me a verse so I can feature on this guy's track? And he wrote me this song that goes, just like a balloon high up in the sky. That's how I elevate when a track is fly. And I do not engage in no fool stuff. I just hold a nice buzz, cause that's enough. And it went on, it went on a bit, but it sounded American, you understand?
Well, I was gonna say, right, when it started, it was like, And then when you said the last line, I started seeing Curtis blowing my head. You know what I mean?
And it's true, it sounded American, but I just used to run with it. I can't forget it. But big up to Black Twang for writing me verses when I was young and stuff.
There's been quite a few people that have actually made some serious headway, and they've put the UK on the map. And then obviously you're there, pretty much central to probably the biggest UK hip hop artist. Do you know what I mean? How did you structurize that? Excuse the pun, but how did you structurize that?
Do you know what? Mostly they structurize themselves, you know. But when it comes down to, Black Twang, you know, I just used to just love the geezer, and I knew every word for word. So I remember, you know, he had a couple of gigs. He told me to come. This was one at a borderline.
Yeah, borderline.
You know, and I was on stage. I remember I dressed up, tried to be black. You know, put on my Kango hat and try to be a bit more black instead of being a bit more retro than I was. You understand? And I was just doing my bit on stage, but I guarantee you, I froze up there. You know, like all these people looking at me. I swear my back went. You understand? Like, so you can just like, and then move your head to the music and like, you know, I remember Rodney P said, I know what you were trying to do up there. I know what you were trying to do. I know what you were trying to do. It's cool, you know, but I don't know. That's my first time ever going on stage, and I must have like gone, you know, and just froze. That time after that it came on, Black Twang done a whole set. Guess who came on after Black Twang? A few songs later on. MCD called himself Tin Can.
Oh, mate.
Kind of destroyed. Like,
I was going to say, Darren is not someone you play with.
yeah, man, he called himself, Tin Can coming to the stage, you know, like when they let all the MCs come on after the show and stuff.
Yeah.
So he just ripped the place up.
You've obviously done work with more than just Black Twang, Roots Manuva. I heard about this guy through when you were sending CD orders, Jimmy Screech.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
No.
Jimmy Screams, James Screeching him, but he's called Jason Bradshaw.
Okay.
And he just had a style that was similar to Roots Manuva. I went out my way to go and find more about this guy. Over the years, his style had got like really British, and I just loved it. And he had this tune called Pleasure and Pain. And I just went out to go and find him, and he was with a crew called Urban Gems, and a guy called G Sav from Broccoli. You know, you bring people on board and you get them to do the crossover. Like, we're gonna cross this over and make it trend. And that's my kind of forte, because I can, you know, it's all right being black, but we've got to have to get paid. And you know what, crossing over is how you get paid. You understand? So I kind of crossed him over to do it for an urban sound. You understand? So I had a producer called Crooked Man, and a white guy who made beats brilliantly. He doesn't make beats anymore. He's more technical now and other stuff, but his beats were ridiculous. And then what I do, I used to get Low Tech. Low Tech was one of Skinny Man's mates. You understand? Ask him to do things. He made tunes for Roots Manuva as well. So I think really and truly, you used to just get different kind of sounds. We wanted different sounds on a CD, and then we want a live sound with a live band at the end. So I'd know a live band or get someone to do. Anyway, get all these CDs. But you know what? With that Jimmy Screech, I got him 45 grand deal on one record. Yeah? And I went to Chelsea and all these places to kind of get the deal. So I had a deal with this group, this guy called Alfie Hollingsworth, who's got a company called Buddhist Punk. You understand? And I don't know, I got Jimmy Screech to do a couple of things, and then, you know, when we went for the signing, like the go for the money, the day we went for the money, all he done was moan all day long. Moan, and I thought, like, what's the matter with you moaning? He says, well, I made the music, I made the tunes, I should get the signing. It's like, what do you mean? Do you want it signed in your name, or do you want it signed in my company name? So I think we just signed it in his name. You understand? Go on then, if you're gonna go, do what you're doing. It must have taken him about 3 weeks to pay me my 25% for getting him the deal. I just knocked on his door and, you know, okay, told his missus to go upstairs and get me the money, got me the money. And then I went about my business. Within, I don't know, 6 months later, his missus had phoned me up and they kind of done an apology sort of thing. So we started up again. Okay. I brought him on Roots Manuva tours. Right. So when I brought him on Roots Manuva tours, Plan B was Roots Manuva's support act. Jimmy Screech was Roots Manuva's support act. But we know what happened to Plan B. They just elevated. But with Jimmy Screech, I kind of got upset with him because no matter what move I would make from him, I say, Jim, how comes I'm in a relationship with you, but you're always giving me chlamydia? You know? Like, at the end of the day, I've gone to a meeting at the office. I've gone to a meeting I had an office in Camden Town alongside this guy called Chris Townsend. You understand? He's the proprietor of the building. And I went down to the building and I saw Jimmy Screech, one beautiful girl, and a couple of bony others, all talking about the artist. So I thought, like, this reminds me of, you know, like, why is my artist here without me talking to all of you lot? You understand? So constantly doing things, you kind of help people, but they mess themselves up.
So basically, you set everything in place, then you find out he's gone behind your back and he's pretty much ready to sign a deal with somebody and you're not involved. Yeah. How does that make you feel? I mean, is this a one-off? Is this something regular?
It was a bit regular. You're doing it again. What's the matter with you? But the name Jimmy Screech. What are you Jim Screeching me for? Right. And Jimmy Screech might mean you're doing a Jim Screechy. Yeah. You understand? I get the name, but at the same time, you know, it's our first time growing up. There's room for mistakes when it's your first time growing up because that's how you learn. This is how I've had to learn from my mistakes. You know, I should have signed people up, but I didn't know I've got to get my friends at the time, I should sign you up. You should sign up to be my friend. And then we'll go on to other things. But I've never signed no one up lock them down like that.
Surely, if you're sorting people out and putting them on their path to life and whatever, you know, you kind of feel there has to be kind of a loyalty there.
There you go.
Not kind of. There has to be a loyalty there.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously with Jimmy that wasn't the case.
No.
Was that the case with Manuva, Black Twang, everybody else?
They've all done the same thing.
Really?
Yeah. With Black Twang, when we were working with Jeremy holding a meeting in Brixton one day at his flat, and he must have said, Gordon, how many records has Black Twang had? And he's had 4 records out with cover sleeve, with photo covers. How many's Rodney had? None. You understand? And I realised what's going on there. But Black Twang got moody about that, so he disappeared. So I just concentrated on Roots Manuva. And Roots Manuva, we're going to do the thing called the crossover. You understand? So we're not doing this for black people. And Rodney will be like, so who are we doing this for then? Smellies, crusties and grungies. You understand? So with the smellies, crusties and grungies, it's a different vibration. It doesn't have to be straight up hip hop. It could be all that quirky stuff you're making. And I don't know, with the first album, done the first video with Rodney called Juggle Things Proper. You know, if you ever hear that tune, look what's happening to the world now.
Yeah, no.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, with Roots, it's kind of like Jeremy got him more pushed over to the left field because we were making left field music, meaning it's not your usual hip hop, it's a different kind of genre, which Ninja Tune got involved, and he was with Ninja Tune for a good long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if it was with another label, maybe the same wouldn't have happened? Maybe they wouldn't have picked up on the vibrations?
With Ninja Tune, bless them, because they've always been good, you understand, and good to him, you know. He was allowed to have articulate expression over everything, and they would ask him, more high-end, Rodney, more high-end. That means more taken up to orchestra level.
Yeah.
And then mixing the two, the rap, the orchestra.
If he hadn't kind of made the moves where he became successful and stuff, would the label still be as understanding and still be supportive?
I think he gravitated to understand the label he was with, because the label he was with weren't like Sony or Virgin or anything. They were a left field label. They had a group on there called Left Field. You understand? They do, I don't know, kind of like Coldplay and all this kind of style, all the kind of like, I don't know, what did you call it? Backpacker hip hop? Yeah. So, yeah, trip hop. And trip hop was good for us, you understand? So trip hop, in the sense of like, helped us turn around, you know, and the rest is like amazing, because when you add a live orchestra or instrumentals to your set, then people are going to look at you a bit different, or there's more, because we would just do a normal hip hop thing, and at the second half of the show, just bring the band out. But it just got bigger and bigger and better. But when I brought Ricky Rankin in, you know, Rodney can hit his notes now, because Ricky's hitting every note, word for word, and Ricky stayed there for a very long time, and from that met Nightmares on Wax and done tours with them. I
mean, I actually met quite a lot of artists through you.
Yeah.
You know, like I think one of my favorite rappers at the time was a guy called Mynature.
Like, I got introduced to Mynature by a girl called Maria, and she was a young girl who was like, I don't know, she used to be, I don't know, she had crookedness around her. She gave me a load of Rolex watches and Cartier watches that looked real but weren't real. She was selling them for £40. You understand? So I knew I was making a lot of money if I was selling it on. But she introduced me to one of her friends. She said, yeah, he's really sick, he's really this. When I met him, I met a really short dude. So he come with a dude called Mynature and Tiny. So Mynature and Tiny, there were these two short dudes who can rap like fire. So I don't know, at them time I was most probably had a friend called Nathan Constance who played the mixed race guy who in Bad Girls, the first original Footballer's Wife, and he played in Bad Girls, the security guard in Bad Girls. He used to make all the beats for me. You know, Mynature used to come down and come and rap on them, but he would come and pick me up first. So this guy would be about 16, driving a sports car, you know, I just can't believe this kid used to have a car. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and he had no license and stuff. And I'm not. But his fire was deep. I used to always moan at him, said, "How come you always talking this gangster rap and this stuff?" I goes, "You're only 16 or something. How can you been done all of this stuff? You can't do stuff that you haven't. You can't talk about stuff you've never done."
And it turns out he's done them.
Nah. Next thing I knew, he was licking off. He wanted to be this rapper, so he was licking off security vans, wiping it down, taking the money, wiping it down with white spirits and stuff. He was naughty, but he was clever. And I used to try and speak to him, but every time I spoke to him, he had an answer for me, and a clever one, and a clever one. And I remember he done something, and he went to jail, and I thought, what a waste.
Yeah.
He phoned me up from jail. He's done this and that, and he said, "Yeah, when I come out, I'm gonna want to see you. I'm gonna want to see you." So when he came out, we done this. He had this name called Ballyface. Ballyface. He was screaming this name, and I was like, he put it on his arm as well, tattooed and stuff.
Yeah, isn't that that was Minnie's first album, wasn't it?
No, he's done a couple of loads of things from us before, but the one I actually pressed was Ballyface. I didn't put Trailblazers on it because we had a couple of tunes on there that I don't know where they came from. So I was like, I can't put my name on there. Will I get into trouble? I don't know.
But didn't Mynature do an album called Ballyface?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I remember, because I'd done the CDs for him for that.
Yeah.
But
I didn't put my name on it, meaning Trailblazers.
Okay.
Because you know what I'd done? That front cover, when I went to America, I remember I saw this CD with a guy with a ballet on like that, and I had bought it. So I'd put that picture from America on this cover. I didn't tell no one what I did. I didn't even think I told him. I just done it. You understand? Yeah, it just started running wild. But his lyrical skills,
it was next level.
Yeah, it was next to nothing. There's no one that could touch him at that time.
Well, at the time, there was two people I was hearing, and I just thought these guys are just something else. And it was him and his mate Smiler.
Yeah.
Them two.
This kid Mynature, his writing ability is so impressive that I would think like, what the hell? So I said, "Oh, come down to the studio and come and feature on this track." He would come with a book. So I say, he would come with a book. He would say, "Oh, play me the beat, play me the beat." And he's got a little bit of attitude because he's really confident. Flick, 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 flick. Oh, I got one. And it will be fire. And I remember,
but it was that confidence as well when he delivers.
Yeah.
He just had this. He just basically oozed with confidence.
We had no mic stand, and I would hold the microphone, and he would just go. He would be just doing this book thing, and it just sounded perfect. We only had to do one take. The guy had his stuff perfected.
If you were to give anybody advice on how to conduct their business, because like I feel like part of the reason why the hip hop scene in this country hasn't thrived the way it should have is because everybody wanted to be the artist, but no one was going behind the scenes and trying to do the business correctly. And then you had a few people that were obviously running the labels. They knew what they were doing. Now more and more people are trying to run their labels, but I'm not even convinced that people know what they're doing now. So
I didn't know what I was doing.
Right. So
everything was a learning process as you went down the line. There was we were making too many mistakes and not enough people pointing us in the right direction.
But was there anyone to point us in the right direction?
We had friends of friends. And then sometimes, I had friends who were like, might be 2 years older than me or something like that.
Yep.
They had a record label called Conscious Records, and they used to do like soul music or rare groove or the collective music. You understand? And it was really cool. And I used to ask this guy Alex, how would I do this and how would I do that? And Alex is just kind of smooth. He's so smooth. He's unbelievable. He used to just clue me up on a couple of things, and I used to try and make it work. But I had a big fight trying to make people play my tune. 279 wouldn't play my tunes.
Okay.
So I went to go and see 279 at Choice FM.
Right.
And I gave him the CD because I must have like them times there. CDs used to cost £16 each. Yeah. And I remember I got 50 CDs done, £16 each, down there in Finsbury Park. You understand? I gave him one of the CDs, the Roots Manuva First, Not For Sale, stuff for radio. He played the weakest track on there. The weakest track, 279, that I thought, you're doing it for us. Played the weakest track, which led to made his phone ring at that studio, who's this kid, who's this kid, who's this kid. If he had played one of the power plays, it would have done the dance. You understand? So it's not rocket science for me that our own people weren't really supporting us. But when I went to Tim Westwood, Radio 1, I went there with Roots Manuva and Black Twang, and it was so fun. You know, it was fun. It was Westwood. We was there at 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't even know people were listening to that stuff. You understand? But I don't know. Different vibrations transcend to different people.
In my experience, 279 has always been his own person, where it's like he goes by what he feels, and you know, you could give him what you think is the most amazing track, and he won't think anything of it. But then, you know, next minute he'll support you like you couldn't believe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, Tim Westwood was getting some bad press, but as a person, he's never done me wrong. He's never done my business wrong. You understand? And he gave us a chance. You understand? So you have to look at those kind of thing. Huh?
Who was that, Westwood or
Westwood? And I didn't feel I got that chance from 279. I mean, I did speak to him about it years later on. You understand? But there's other things and other people who I didn't think gave Roots Manuva or Black Twang a chance.
Bro, I'm an artist. I've felt that all along. Like there's people, you know, obviously I could name names. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's been times when certain DJs haven't supported me, but then all of a sudden the next record comes out, you know, they're supporting. Yeah. So then it begs the question, maybe the record that I made that I thought was that good wasn't really that good. Yeah. Maybe you just needed to have the right product. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So maybe in the eyes of the DJs, including your 279s and whoever else, they just didn't feel that product was right. Yeah. You know, because they obviously...
Who are they to think? Who are they? Because I'll tell you something, yeah? I'm making some music with these guys that are blowing the roof off of underground hip-hop. Yeah. So when you want to come into the mainstream, of course they're not ready.
But that's the beauty of it, though, isn't it? It's like, you know. Yeah. It just, you know, it's like what I'm doing with the channel now. I know. Yeah. But no one else is really going to see the vision.
My ears have never let me down. Right. So that's how I know it's good. You understand? You couldn't force feed me your music and I don't have an opinion on it. I wouldn't tell the whole world the opinion, but I know my ears. Even when you done a tune, you said something about can't see the signs because you're blind. When you done the video, it wasn't the same video as everybody else. It was just completely different. I saw some sexy girls in there, and this is me. And it just, camera just went, whoom, and it went on to, you understand? That's like...
Just for the record, that was actually not in the script. I didn't feel that the girls in the Lexus and whatever represented me. Okay. Right? So when we actually done the shoot, as a kind of piss take, I did one take where I pushed a girl. I've gone and grabbed the camera, arguing with the cameraman physically. Yeah. And pulled the camera and decided I'm going to run off. They looked at the footage and they went, right, do that again, but this time don't kill the girl.
That vision don't leave my head.
Like, what I'm trying to say is sometimes, like, what you visualize isn't necessarily what goes ahead. Yeah. But you just don't know that switch up that you do could be the thing that changes your life. I mean, has anything like that happened?
I don't know. With Roots Manuva, I would just say to, like, when he was doing artist development for him, I said, can't you sound like your dad? What do you mean? I said, every time we knock on your door, your dad tells us off. Like, the blind leading the blind again. Rodney! You know, tell us off, Rod, in the music like your dad. You understand? Like, you understand? Like, and it was there. He done this tune called Sin Sinners. You understand? Like, and it was just so cold. You know, he got his mate Lee to do the intro. I always thought it was Rodney, but it was his mate Lee. Lee Jawa, he's another DJ. You know, in the song, he talks about his father was a deacon. He used to stand preaching and forgive me, Dad, I know not what I did. I was just a kid trying to hustle up a quid. So that means he's teething out the collection box. You understand? I found it like, come on, give me some more. You understand? So he's kind of like. You know, he's got all these stories. It's about putting them into the word play. And he's got, reminds me of Mynature. They just get up in the morning and they write a song.
I swear I heard that Scheme got pulled up on stage at an event.
We were doing a gig at Subterranea. Because Black Twang came out on stage, done his his thing, and now he's getting heckled. I can see someone heckling him, and Black Twang told Rumpel to wheel up the tune or something, and I thought, like, let me go over there now and tell Black Twang Scheme's in the back there, in the wings. So I must have took the microphone off Black Twang and passed it to Scheme. So Scheme walked out of the wings rapping. He's got a street style that's cold, but it's so real that if you're listening, you're gonna be mesmerized for it. So he came out and he just came out and he was directing these rhymes at these hecklers. You understand? And the crowd just went, "Whoy!" Because you know when the crowd goes, "Whoy!" Then you know.
Yeah.
You know. And then, you know, he done with the hecklers, then he switched down to a girl's rhyme and he bent down and he went down to talk to the girls. And they just went, "Whoy! Whoy!" You understand? Black Twang looked at me like to say, "Can't you hurry up? No, am I sure? It's my show. He's taking all the limelight." You understand? So I kind of like told him, like, "Hey, go wheel yourself back. Come back." But you know, what a powerful kid that is, though.
You know, I didn't realise the depth of everything until I spoke to him recently.
Scheme's hard. I've gone to Australia with Roots Manuva, and like I've seen Roots Manuva and Fallacy, and I've seen them, they're doing on the mic. I said, I wish I could go on the mic, you know. I ain't got no lyrics, but I know Scheme's lyrics. You understand? So I know Scheme's. I just went on the thing and started being Scheme in Australia until I found my feet, you understand? Kind of funny that you're going to take somebody else's rap when you go abroad, but no one's going to know, are they?
Yeah, exactly.
But you know Scheme, but hey, man.
Did you ever get to the point of managing him and stuff?
Only for pressing tunes, or what I'd done is, like, if I was working with Roots Manuva, we had a posse cut called Swords in the Dirt, and like he said, "Oh, we need a singer for this." I said, "It's like 11 o'clock at night. Oh, we need a singer, we need a singer." So I would phone someone, and I phoned Naira Scarlett, who came down. She came down, she said, "Is there weed there?" And I said, "Yeah, there's weed there." She said, "You're going to pay me?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm going to get a cab down. Are you going to pay for that?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Then the cab back?" I said, "Yeah, just come on down." You know, she came down in a baseball cap, tracksuit bottoms and tracksuit. Everybody said, "Can she sing, G?" I said, yeah. She'll be all right, she'll be all right. She sung, Rodney wrote some verses, she sung them off, later to be known Swords in the Dirt. But what happened is, she looked like a ragamuffin. But when we done the show at the Forum, Kentish Town, and they done that posse cut, she came out, she looked like a woman. They were all losing their minds for her. And she got approached to do other songs for Girls Are Allowed.
Yeah.
Girls of the Underground,
Girls Allowed,
and Sugar Babes.
Sugar,
She's the one who wrote all them songs.
Okay.
Some Kentish Town girl who just came down to fill in a spot at the
That's what
time.
I'm saying. You never know when that opportunity is going to come. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, how many of those kind of opportunities do you think you've created?
I've created quite a number of these opportunities.
Because you've been involved in, not just as a manager in the background, but you've been involved in a load of other things. Like, if I recall, at one point you were doing photography, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, did you ever get involved in promotions?
Well, there's a time where I just wanted money because I got a baby at like 18, 19 years of age, so I just went to work.
Yeah.
And I went to look for job. I went to go and look at my dad's job. So I went to London Palladium with my baby, and I got a job. You know, and that kind of job, what my dad done, I incorporated that into the showbiz world, because in theatre, you have to have your subject matter. You got to have a rehearsal. You got to have a dress rehearsal. You got to have a press night, and I learnt off that process. When we done the gig at the Forum, Roots Manuva's big gig for the, I think it was the Run Come Save Me album, I asked the guy who I worked with at the theatre to come down and do the lighting, because we had no light. I said, "You got a lighting, man?" They didn't have a lighting, man. I just quickly phoned Tony Shea. "Tone, can you come down and do the lighting?" He said, "No problem, G." You understand? I used to make him do tour managing for Jim Screech.
I'm pretty sure I was at that event.
Yeah.
I came down with some friends. Might have actually even been Herbalizer.
Yeah,
So
I remember them gigs there, yeah.
Actually, talking of Herbalizer, I remember something that Herbalizer said to me one time. He goes, "We signed a deal with Mynature,
Okay.
right? And we came out of nowhere and we sold 45,000 copies of our album. No one knows who we are, but we sold 45,000 copies. Now, if we weren't on Ninja Tune and we were on some other label, like, I don't know, mate, I'll just throw a name out there just for the sake of it, True Thoughts or something, we would never have sold that. Like, what I'm trying to say is that being on that label gives you that kudos to basically sell a certain amount, like 30, 40,000 records without even having to lift a finger.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about the label. I know a lot about the man behind the label. So Peter Quick, he's not no easy bloke. But he's not a chump. Yeah, and he's kind of clever.
Yeah, he's very clever.
He don't even spend his money willy-nilly. So he just wants high-end. Everything's got to be high-end. I learned high-end through him saying, it's got to be high-end, Gordon. Can it be high-end? And that's how I learned about high-end, you know, like everything should be a bit polished than just what it is. But I feel that everything happens for a reason. And you know what, sometimes be nice to the people on the way up, because you're only going to meet them on the way down. And you know, I've made mistakes. I'd never got my friends because I thought they were my friends. I didn't sign. Say, can you sign a contract if you want to be my friend and do this music thing? You understand? Like, I never knew about that. I never knew about signing contracts.
The language that I'm picking up is you're speaking as a person who's been let down a lot of times.
Definitely.
I mean, how do you bounce back?
I feel like I'm a self-made person via my brother. I've always wanted my brother to love me. He's never loved me like that out in the open. People tell you, your brother used to bully you all the time. Well, he's made me strong and tough and resistant to kind of things. You know,
that's worth more than money.
That's worth more than money. Yeah,
that's definitely worth.
And then I've become my own person, physically and mentally and spiritually. So, but I can do anybody physically, mentally, and spiritually. But I keep it spiritual.
So what's the biggest lesson that you've learned from all of this?
If it's just your first time growing up, there's room for mistakes, but take note, now you have to sign your friends up. Even though you can tell your friends they're good or shit, if they're good and they're really kind of like got the zunk, and you know you're gonna have to sign your friend. That's what I've never done or didn't do at that time.
I can tell you from even signing, you're gonna get a lot of complications. Like basically, if you sign, you got to take it through the courts. Police ain't interested. Blah blah blah. So you end up getting pissed off and want to take it to the street. Do you know what I mean? So lawyers are going to charge you.
Time I felt like
if someone owes you 100 grand, a lawyer is going to charge you 105 grand to get it back for you. So you know what I mean? You just end up taking it to the street. So
no, I've been vexed and moody with most of these artists. Like, God, like really, is that how you move and learn? Because it's my first time growing up. I've never grown up before.
What's I mean, I don't know if I should even ask this question, but I'm going to ask. What's your favorite artist you've worked with?
Woo, Black Twang.
Is that going to... Okay, great.
But therefore, they all shine in their own different ways. I love Roots Manuva. I love the music. I love the power. You know, when a band learns his music and that's 14K system and you hear it back, you can see from the crowd's view. MC Scheme, another favorite of mine. He's just real life scenarios. You know, I remember he got nicked one week, or I don't know, he must have been locked up for a couple of days. But when he came out, we got the story. Just released from Lewisham Station, cell block floor. Yesterday, power arrest, they pushed my face to the floor. That's like, wow, you understand? You got the whole kind of story from the thing. Those with him as well, you know, he's one of those guys who come from sound system. So when you see them when they're young and you see them when they're older, you know, they got a story to tell. You would love his movie. Lots of things are documented in America and France, but not things are documented in England like that.
You know what's not documented? You used to be hype man for Black Twang.
Yeah, true.
And Roots Manuva.
Yeah. When I was a hype man for Black Twang, I told you I froze one time. You understand? And then I can understand Tony might get someone else. You understand? I understand all about that. When I was hype man for Roots Manuva, I went Australia, hype man. When you do one show or 3 shows, you become better like an old machine. And then it was just getting better. And then I got more confident and more confident. I don't know. We done colleges, places. I remember we were a support act for Mark B and Blade.
Yeah, in Newcastle.
It was far out. That's all I know. Yeah. Anyway, we went to there, and I was a hype man, and I was like, you know, hyping up and rare, and we was kind of. Rodney was smoking weed in all them time there, and most probably drinking a bit of what do you call it, like Boost and stuff like, and he was doing this show. We was doing this show, and I remembered seeing the specials, how they let people come onto the stage. So I let 2 girls come and dance on the stage, and then 3, 4 came and danced on the stage, 5 and 6 came and danced on the stage, and then the fire alarm went off.
And just for the record, I was standing in the front, jumping and supporting you guys, and this guy thinks it was me to set the fire alarm off.
Mark B or Blade, because we were hyping up the place, and they said they didn't want us to take their shine. We're just a support act.
Yeah. But you know we smashed it too.
Yeah.
Like we hold our own, man. It's like we didn't even see this competition.
Yeah.
You know, I always saw it as.
Can you remember the alarm going off?
I remember the alarm going off.
Okay.
And I remember the threats the next time you see me.
I always laughed with you. I always thought it was Mark B, you know, like, you tell fucking Mark.
Well, what I couldn't understand is I am genuinely there in the front, because at the beginning, if you remember, like there weren't that many people in the front. They were at the bars and all that. So I went and started dragging everybody and go, come on, let's go, let's go. Then I went and stood in the front, and that's why everyone was surrounding me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because I got everybody to the front.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I've been to Newcastle 7, 8 times now.
Yeah.
So that's my family right there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's why you turned the alarm on?
No.
Okay.
No. No, but I'm saying, like, you know, when you lot were on, I was genuinely there with all my friends, all the arms around everybody, everybody jamming. And then next minute, it's like, my man's there telling me he's going to kill me.
Trying to mess up our set.
Nah, bro, I was a fan. And
I done hype man for Roots Manuva loads of times. It started fizzling out when I brought Ricky Rankin to the thing. So Ricky's hitting every note. And writing tunes with him, or Rodney will say, give me a vibes there, give me a vibes there, Ricky, give me a vibes there, Ricky. And he'll give him a vibes, and Rodney can catch him. But Rodney plays with words so brilliantly and so well that I'm sure he's getting 3 songs in one day.
Yeah. Black Twang also used to engineer for a certain group.
Yeah, London Posse.
Were you involved in that, or was that after?
I was more Black Twang's friend and always interested, because we went down to Monroe Studios. Black Twang will be in the studio and he'll be an engineer, so he's engineering London Posse. You know, Bionics in there. You know, Bionics so cool. Rodney P so serious. Black Twang goes to Rodney P that he does music as well. He's gonna bust the tune as soon as they get a break. So he played them a tune. And Rodney goes, yeah, that's cool. That sounds good. It sounds good. But Black Twang used to engineer for everyone, including Beverly Knight. Black Twang's always had association with Sony and all these people. He's kept his business clean. He's a good guy. Yeah. And I don't know, you know, Bionic, them time there, I remember I was in the studio with him, and Bionic had a super malt, and I kept on looking at the super malt. My mouth was so dry. I kept on looking at this, and he said, do you want some?
And you said it in the same voice as well.
Yeah, he gave some of that, and I didn't want to take too much. My mouth was dry, but I love that guy for just giving me some juice that day. Because I'll tell you what, I was dehydrated. It's like I didn't want to leave the studio, innit? Like I missed out on anything.
Tell us a little bit about Witness.
Witness to Fitness.
Yeah.
That's Ninja Tune and all of that, but Rodney. How they made that tune, how Rodney made that tune, it's the same as Doctor Who. You just got to open up your ears, because you say to Rodney, why don't you do a tune like this, or why don't you do a tune like that? Or he would listen and actually get these things and get done. So that is Doctor Who. If you hear it, it's Doctor Who, the start of Doctor Who.
Amazing. I heard from somebody, I'm not going to tell you who, but I heard from somebody that Rodney was running away from one of the video shoots. What's the story behind that?
I don't know what you mean. I wasn't there.
You weren't there. You don't remember him filming and some guy coming out?
Oh no, that was if you're talking about the first days, Rodney, we've done a tune in Angel Town with this guy called Thomas. He's kind of like an R&B, singer, and Rodney done a verse. So the guys who were filming it in the flats in the area, Angel Town, and this dude said, "Don't film outside my house. Don't film outside my house." And the boys were saying, "What's the matter with you, man? We're just filming for the kids, man, the flipping kids." You know, and he was like, "Move from my house." So I knew it was getting aggressive. But when I looked, Rodney was clear down the bottom of the road. We won't have none of that. You know what I mean? He's gone. You understand? Gone. You understand? Rodney, come back! Come back, Rodney! Kind of funny, really, how he would, you know, he was anything to do with violence, he was gone.
Yeah, no, he's not that kind of person. From the person that I've met a few times, he's always been really nice to everybody, and you know what I mean, friendly, and you know. But I don't know him like you know him, so I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. He might be beating himself up.
Rodney beats himself up all the time. You understand? But he'll do it in a lyricist way, and his way of writing and talking about, you hear it, you know, even talks about his baby mother pointing her hissy fits, pointing the finger and stuff. You got to really, he's a deep writer, and you got to read between the lines. But I know he's a relationship man because he'll write about the relationship. So if the relationship's sinking, he's got to write about that.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything that you feel that we've missed out that you want to?
There's a whole load of things we've missed out.
Okay.
But not many things I can remember. I'm still laughing at the other stuff, you understand, in my mind, even earlier on today. So I can't really remember anything. It's just jokes when I've come here, and like I've had some fun. And you know, if I'm allowed to express myself, or you want me to express myself, I've done it. You know, I don't know what else to say. But I love being asked questions about the past and the present or the future.
Well, like, look, you've done so much, and like I said, there's, you know, not a lot of people really get to see people like you doing what you do. So I don't feel people like you get the credit that you deserve.
That's understandable.
Do you know what I mean? So for anybody who's watching this guy has been really instrumental in the behind the scenes of some of the biggest artists in the UK hip hop scene that you know. So these are the kind of guys that you also need to show respect to and support. Like, you know, you just need to be there, because without these guys, you wouldn't even know about some of the people you're buying records off and going to shows and buying their merchandise.
Most of them was going to give it up. Rodney was going to give up this music thing, and I said, "Don't give it up, Rodney. Come on, man. People going to love you." And then, I don't know, you ask Rodney, I've got it all on proof by some other interviews. You know, I feel that it was a brilliant journey. And it's still brilliant now. It's just that we don't know what's going to happen on.
Yeah. Any advice that you can give somebody that's aspiring to be a manager?
I don't think people like to tell people about their craft. You know, if you got a relationship with somebody, you can tell them something about their craft. You know, I've had to tell people, do you call that any good? Do you think that's really good? That's not good enough. You understand? You hurt people's feelings.
But you have to.
But you have to. For instance, it might not be my business, but at the time it is my business. Meaning I've gone to Australia, Fallacy, MK, Roots Manuva, MJ Cole and stuff like that. And then Fallacy's in my hotel room, on my phone, bill I've got to pay, phone in London. So I say, like, he said, "No, Scheme's on the phone." Scheme was moaning at Fallacy because we didn't tell him we were going to Australia. You understand? But he's moaning, we squared it up, you know what I mean? Come back from Australia to London, you know, I've said Fallacy's working on a boat deal. So I said, yeah, I'll come down to the boat thing. I've gone down to the boat thing, I've got robes on and everything. I watched Fallacy talk about how I'm dressing and in his raps. Then I've heard him talking Scheme's raps and talking deep. So I'm saying, if you're talking Scheme's rap, how comes you haven't put Scheme on the album or Big P on the album? You understand? These things these boys might not talk about. They might give Fallacy his respect, but I thought like, no, Fallacy, I used to come down to Monroe's to see you do your music. You understand? But you never invited the Sterling Collect crew to come and perform on one of the tracks. I didn't get it. So I don't understand certain people's behaviour. But if you've got a group of people, stay loyal to your brothers and stay loyal to your sisters.
I feel there's like so much more that we could discuss, and there's probably like maybe 6 months' time.
Yeah,
Let's do it
definitely.
again. If you want to be kept in the loop with his future projects, be sure to follow him on his connection pages to find out more. All the relevant links can be found in the description below. Comment, like, share, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive the notifications. Stay safe and thank you for watching.
You need a nap. Go to sleep.